How is this?
Oh, you look good.
Okay, look,
Perfect.
I guess there's not a lot going on at the moment.
Well,
That's
what does your shirt say? Let's start there.
it's not a lot going on at the moment.
And is that one of her songs?
It's from the 22 video. She wears this shirt. So I Googled like Taylor Swift shirts or whatever a long time ago, and I just found this was simple.
I love it.
And I'm like, what should I do? So yeah.
Uh, well, I thought this would be a cool video to make because Taylor Swift is obviously like the number one concert of the year, like the number one pop singer right now. And I don't know very many people that have actually gotten to go see her. So you're
Wow.
like my first one. And it's a rare thing that you actually got tickets, right?
Yeah, so my sister surprised me for Christmas. You might remember that video where I was just like crying, and so she yeah, at first, I'm like, well, I love Taylor Swift. It would be cool, but I always thought it would be like out of reach to go to her concert. I'm like, well, that would be fun, but they're really expensive. And my sister actually, she got on during her recess duty one day, and she just left on the Ticketmaster, and then like 10 minutes later it's like, oh, you're in. And she
Wow.
had the pre-sale, so I mean, they were still more expensive than average, but it was a good deal, I think, like for Taylor Swift. And that was before the internet broke.
Yeah.
It was like the worst Ticketmaster sale in history. It was chaotic.
Yeah, I heard about it. I heard about it just because, I follow pop culture and music and, I'm on TikTok, as you know. I do karaoke videos and actually I did two Taylor Swift songs today just to get me pumped up for this interview.
Yes.
So, yeah, one of them I kind of messed up, so I may not post it, but I did pretty well on the oh gosh, now I don't even know the title of it. Anti-hero. There it is.
Oh yeah, yeah,
There it
that's
is.
or one. Yeah.
That's one of my favorites, actually, of her new stuff.
Yeah, she has so many good things. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
just like, you better make me sing. Don't make me sing.
no, I'm not going to make you sing. Don't worry. I mean, you can if you want to, but no, I'm
No,
not going to put you on the spot like that. This is already on the spot for you enough, I'm sure.
it's good.
So, I'm going to ask you the questions I have prepared. I'll start with the first one. Unless you wanted to add any more info.
Um, well, you can just go ahead and start.
Okay. So how long have you been a Taylor Swift fan?
So I loved Taylor Swift for 14 years, according to Facebook. And I acquired the Fearless CD somehow. I think it was through a friend or something. And then I just started acquiring more CDs, and I bought a few piano books. So I have all of her physical CDs now. I have four piano books. I have one record, and yeah, and then I have two digital copies. So over the years, I just kept on acquiring, and I'm just like, wow, this is like, she's so awesome.
So the piano books are piano music that you can actually play on the piano.
Yeah, and like I took piano lessons when I was little, but I'm not good at like memorizing the songs.
Mhm.
And so it's really good. It's a good challenge. Like I don't play them too much unless I'm home alone, but yeah, they're really fun. They're just the easy piano, and it's really fun to play.
That's so awesome. I
Yeah.
love that video you made for me when you
Um,
were playing.
that was Enchanted, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
there's
loved it.
two. that I can play pretty easily, even though I know like almost every single song,
That's so,
but it's a good challenge to play.
yeah, it is. Um, do you think a fan of Taylor Swift is the same as saying that you are a Swiftie?
Well, I didn't think of myself as a Swiftie for a while because I'm like, well, that's kind of weird. But so I think a Taylor Swift fan, you become a fan, and then a Swiftie is like it's the whole movement. It's a community, and you're involved in the community, and it's so fun. Like there's this Instagram called Swifties for Eternity, and it just has everything you could want, like all the information. And so I discovered that this past year with all the concert, getting ready for that. And so now I think of myself as like a Swiftie.
Okay. So you
So
say you became a Swiftie within like the last year, right?
yeah, I thought of myself. And then like when we were in Seattle, we're like, oh hey, Swifties, like you could see all the Swifties. And it was amazing. Like all the Swifties on the street, you could tell, and they're all in the hotel, like it's a hotel for Swifties.
Right. I can relate to the similar feeling when I saw Katie a couple years ago in Vegas. Like everyone was at the hotel, and you could totally tell who was there for her. And it's like a whole it's like Comic Con in a way, but just for that one person. Everyone dresses up in her in their outfits, and yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Um, what does a Swiftie, this is kind of repetitive, but what does a Swiftie mean to you?
Mm. I just said, um, yeah, it's just being connected to others. Really, that's the main thing. And just feeling that energy. It's just like it connects people. Like, I don't know if you know the song Invisible String, but
Mm-mm.
it's like we're all connected by an invisible string.
I love it. And
Yeah.
obviously she knows that her fans are called Swifties, right? Yeah.
Mm.
What is your favorite Taylor Swift era or tour?
Oh boy, this was a hard one. So this is the first concert I've seen with her, and it's amazing because she actually sang from all of her eras. Like she hasn't been singing a lot, like maybe just a few times from her debut album. And so this one, the surprise song, was actually one of my favorites from her debut album. And I was so happy, like she acknowledged all of her eras on our tour. And so I actually journaled a lot. Like I journaled like 4 pages of but just like so okay, I'll just read what I wrote.
Please.
It's hard to choose an era. Different eras are for different moments. For the concert, I dressed like the red era from the 22 video. Happy, free, confused, and lonely at the same time, and miserable and magical. So I chose that album because like All Too Well is the ultimate song. It's just the ultimate song. Like, do you know that song?
No.
She just did this 10-minute version of it. It's her song she wrote after she dated Jake Gyllenhaal, and just like all about, it's a very nostalgic song. And so just that whole album is very nostalgic. Like the more you listen to it, the more just things just from your whole life just pop into your head. Like, so um let's see, there's so much in life that we remember all too well, and that's what the song is about. And
Okay.
it's just like it's the song that makes everyone cry all the time. So
Aw.
I chose the red because red has been just my classic go-to album. It just gets you again and again. So the first one that I listened to was Fearless. And Fearless is a really good album for her classic songs.
Mhm.
It's the first album I remember listening to. And I listened to it. I remember after I broke up with my college boyfriend, I had listened to it And then that's when I really started to get her lyrics and get into her songs. And just when I was figuring out who I
you
was
were.
and
Yeah.
just like who I wanted to be in life, like I would just listen to Taylor Swift and she would not tell me, but you know, she kind of guided me with her words. And then the next one, so there's just so many good things for like all your moods. So I love Reputation. Like I love listening to that when I'm driving, like in the city, because
Yeah.
it's a very, very lively album.
Yeah.
And are you ready for it? And like that's very fun. And then Folklore, one of the newer ones, I just love that for the like the elegant composition and the songwriting, and it's just very mellow. And her Folklore albums and her Evermore albums are like fictional stories. Like she just gets inspiration, and it's just amazing. She's like, I read this book, I saw this movie, now I'm gonna write this song or this album about this book, and it's just like, wow, you got that from that. So I there's just different stories that
Yeah.
she just goes through, and it's just like all like the Folklore album just shows like how she's just trying her best to be authentic, and it just like was really a breakthrough album for her recently. So that's what I wrote about that.
Wow, that's perfect. Love it. Thank you.
Okay.
And I'm doing this video for me, but also for others that don't know that much about Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And, I thought it would be something that might resonate with a lot of people. That's what gave me the idea.
Yeah, it's fun. Thank you.
You're welcome. What about Taylor Swift is personal to you? And what about her music relates to you? Is there a deeper meaning?
Yeah, so of course I wrote more because I'm a writer, and so Taylor's music isn't just simple, but it's like a good work of literature to listen to. She's just, I don't know, it's just so inspiring. She just continues to amaze me with everything she writes. I'm like going back to the like she's been re-recording her old songs and like reclaiming them and just going back to those things. Just you discover more in her music. Yeah, perhaps being a writer myself just helps me connect more with her and appreciate it more. I just feel so much in all of the songs, it just goes through all the emotions. And it's like, all the songs you just play over and over all at once in your head. And you just like have 5 different albums playing in your head. That's how my brain works sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like I go from here to here to here. That's just how my brain works. I just have a very active mind, and I just, I'm like, oh, this reminds me of this song.
It's relatable to you. She brings things out in you that you may not have known.
Yeah, it's like, hey, and I was going through this thing in my life. Like, I didn't realize that I felt that way, but maybe Taylor Swift sings a song about it.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
And in your own words, give your opinion as to why this era for Taylor has been the biggest, most sought after.
I just think it's because she hasn't toured in 5 years since her Reputation tour, and she's just spent so much time reflecting. I think and just working on herself, and I really think she's just really shown that she cares about her fans so much, and it's just really cool. I just think it's because she hasn't been out for so long.
Yeah.
She's worked really hard on it. So I just think, and the fact that she released a few new albums that she hasn't toured, she's released 4 albums since she hasn't toured. And so I think that's also people want to hear that and see her perform those songs. So I think that's why.
Okay. I didn't
Mhm.
know that. So that's a good point.
Yeah.
And how was the Eras concert? Was it worth all the hype?
It was just really an amazing experience. It was just kind of unfathomable being in the stadium, and like I've never been to up to the Seahawks stadium before. Like I've been to the baseball stadium a long time ago, but I haven't been to the Seahawks stadium, and we were like kind of up high, and
Yeah.
so I'm like, wow, this. But it was so cool. Like, so I went with my sister, and then we had we had hung out with some friends who were sitting in a different section, but yeah, like some of her best friends were there, and it was just like it was so cool. I don't know how to describe it. It was yeah, it was some one of those things, you know, I could tell my grandchildren about like 40 years from now or whatever, you know.
Right.
One of those historical moments. And did you read how there was actually an earthquake?
Yes,
Like,
I was gonna bring this up with you. I saw this last night and
just
I couldn't believe that.
well, the thing is, so Seattle's on like this fault line that they're afraid is going to just fall apart and crumble like any day now. Like, and so Seattle is on this fault line. That's kind of shaky to begin with. But the fact that so the fans outbeat the Seahawks. There was the Seahawks earthquake that happened, the beastquake that happened in 2011. And Taylor Swift actually, our fans actually doubled that on the seismograph. The same seismograph was used. I guess somebody geologist had just noticed on the seismograph that was in the stadium, like, oh hey, this is the same. It's similar to what this football player created. So it's just like it was so cool. I don't know. It's just so wild, all these things that are happening. And like she's breaking so many records. I don't know. I'm not over it. I don't think I'll be over it for a while.
Yeah, and you don't have to be. This was your moment,
Yeah.
and it's a special thing that you got to do with
Yeah.
your sister,
Mm-hmm.
and probably the biggest concert you've ever been to so
Yeah.
far.
Oh, definitely.
Because you did see Backstreet Boys, right?
Yeah, I actually saw them like 4 years ago on this day. I think I saw the Backstreet Boys. Yeah, I've seen them maybe at least 3 times in my life, 3 or 4 times. And I've seen like Josh Groban and the Chicks and Matchbox 20
So
and
you,
just like normal concert. But
okay.
this was different. It was, yeah, I've seen those big stars, but it was different than that because it's just like I was so glad it was in the big open stadium because that just, you know, that was really good.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
think I've ever been to a concert that big, like the one at a big stadium. I don't
Yeah.
believe so.
And then there were all the people, all the fans outside, you know, who couldn't get tickets, who were tailor gating, like
Yeah.
they're gating for at least the first few songs. And I think I kind of like shush them away a little bit. But everyone in the neighborhood was like, there were people in apartments across the street who were like on their rooftops listening to her. And
Wow.
it was cool. Yeah.
That's amazing.
It was like the city of Seattle became like the Swift City.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Wow. What's the story with the bracelets? Let's get into these friendship bracelets.
So I didn't know about these bracelets until probably like the day of or something because my sister brought her little boys like bead kit so that we can make them at the hotel. And so what is this? I'm like, what is oh okay, this one says treacherous, which is the name of one of her songs. And so I made this one at the hotel, treacherous.
Okay.
This one is red. That's red. I made that one.
That's
And
cool.
then one of my friends who's amazingly crafty, she made like a million, not a million bracelets, but there were 6 of us, and she must have made like 50 bracelets or some, I don't know. But so I guess sometimes these end up on the stadium floor. Sometimes people trade them as
Yeah, that's what I've heard, that people trade them.
I think it's just like a sign of unity. But I wanted
Yeah.
these because my friend made them, and she spent so long making all these, and she's incredible. So this is Taylor, and this is 22. This is Eras Tour.
Wow.
Yeah, and so like I can't wear bracelets that much because they make me itchy. But
Oh,
yeah, like I really love these though.
yeah, you can't get rid of those.
Yeah, no. They'll be someplace special in my
Yeah,
room. I keep like everything.
for
So
sure.
uh-huh.
So my friend who's also a Swiftie, I asked her for some advice on to, what I should ask you because she might think of some things that I may not have thought of.
Mhm.
That Taylor normally sings a surprise song at the Eras tour. What song did she sing?
So she's saying message in a bottle, which I've never heard before. So it might be a new vault track that she's pulling up because she has a lot of those that I haven't. She has like 200 vault tracks that she hasn't released. And so
Wow.
yeah, I read somewhere there were like 200. I don't know. She's written a lot. Like, and some of her songs, it's like you write rough drafts of things and she just pulls out like, oh, okay, I wrote this story. I'll just pull it out of thin air. But like how I go back to my college things. I'm like, oh, hey, this is a cool story. I'll just pull this out of thin air. But so she sang Message in a Bottle, which was a very pretty song, but I didn't know it. And then she sang Tied Together with the Smile, which is from her first album. And I just had a feeling like I really wanted her to sing something from her first album because she hasn't really done that much. And
Yeah.
so I was really happy. And she wrote that song. She started writing songs when she was 12, and some of those are on her first album. And so she wrote this one when she was 16. She just wrote it for a friend who was going through a hard time. And I just think it's like one of those like encouraging songs.
Wow. So
Yeah.
those were her surprise songs? Okay. And she supposedly she changes the song each concert.
Yeah, which is just so I don't know how she does all this, but she does.
And
So
the other question was, what did Taylor talk about when she wasn't singing? I heard she didn't sing too or talk too much because she has to save her voice.
right, yeah, she basically she did talk for like a couple songs, like, oh hey, I really want to play this song for you guys. Or she didn't talk too much, but she did like, like she always does at the concert, like, hey Seattle, you're my favorite or whatever. But she's like, no, you really are. And we
Oh,
always believe her. Of course, every city believes that.
right.
um yeah, and so she really didn't talk. Yeah, because I read that too the other day that she has to save her voice. I mean, she
Yeah,
sang 50 songs. So, like, some of them were shortened.
right.
Um, one of them was a spoken song, which was kind of unusual, but it was cool. But yeah, yeah, she didn't say that much.
Okay. And then she gives away a hat,
Mm-hmm.
like what kind of a hat? Like a bucket hat or
Yeah, so it's like this color hat,
uh-huh.
and it's the one that she wears when she's singing the red songs, like when she's singing 22 and like We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together. When she's
uh,
singing those songs, she'll give away a hat. And I guess her mom, Andrea, picks a random fan. Like you have to submit maybe a story to Andrea or something. Like somehow, like I don't know how you submit the story, but my sister said you submit a story and her mom picks like some random fan. And I'm just like, and I'm like, I belong with Taylor's hat. That's where I belong.
right? Aw.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
next time.
maybe next time.
Aw.
So
Well,
yeah.
those are all my questions that I came up with. Do you have a favorite song of hers or no?
I guess it would be All Too Well. I mean, that one is just, I don't know, it gets me so much. Um, but I mean, that's a hard question. But All Too Well is my go-to.
Her go-to, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Wow. Sounds like it was amazing.
Yeah,
I would have loved to have gone just to be there in that energy with everybody
yeah.
because I know that when I'm at an artist that I love to see and everyone's singing the same songs that you love, there you can't describe that feeling.
Yeah, and like there were some little kids there, and it was fun for them to see. But and then I remember how like when I was little, I mean, we listened to songs that we probably shouldn't have been singing, but and it's a fun memory for them, really fun memory, and all
Yeah.
the kids are so happy and so excited to be there, and I'm just like, oh, this is gonna be so fun for them. But
Did you buy any souvenirs or no?
I think we bought a t-shirt online, but the merch line didn't have any t-shirts. I mean, we would have waited for a while, but they just had like hoodies. And
Oh,
we just went to like one of the merch stands at the level that we were at because the
uh-huh.
one side was like crazy. But we just found one online. My
Uh,
sister just bought the t-shirts online because I'm like, well, I don't really need a hoodie or like a poster, so I
yeah,
just did a t-shirt.
that's good enough. Yeah, I heard the merch lines are just insane.
Yeah, so we're like, it's yeah, we got pizza. I mean, that was all that we bought.
Did
We
you
bought
have any anxiety going in or leading up to the concert just
um,
because of how, I don't know, did you, or were you more excited than nervous?
I was more excited. Like I was kind of nervous about like, oh, are we going to be spending like $1 million on this concert? But like it was good. I mean, I was more focused on the experience, and I think the most nervous I was climbing up those stairs in the stadium. I was holding on to those rails, and we didn't go to the bathroom like the whole time Taylor was there because it was so high up, even though the bathroom was right there. Like we went before and then we went like, I don't know, 4 hours later.
Wow.
It was fine. And we had like one bottle of water each.
Yeah,
But
you didn't want to miss anything. Well, I appreciate you doing this with me.
yeah, it was fun. I mean, like I said, I don't have a lot going on at the moment. And so I mean it's my summer and this has been fun. Yeah.
And I'm glad that Katie and Taylor are not uh fighting anymore. They're friends.
I'm glad they have good blood now instead of bad
Yeah,
blood.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I love you, and I'll let you know when the video is edited and posted.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, hun?
Okay, love you too.
Love you too. Thank you.
Sure.
Bye.
Bye.